last year, but there's promise and minor league, and finally,
Yeah, a
we
lot of
go
minor
out.
league deals.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it a couple of days ago, Chris. And maybe every now and then we need to get together and have a gripe session because it seemed like the very next day. And Debo, I think you were doing something, but Chris and I were just bitching basically, right? But we're just talking about it like, I
Yeah.
wish they would do this and I wish they would do that. And then we
Mhm.
look up and Chris, I see the story come across yesterday, and I had to take my glasses off and be like, am I seeing this right? Am I tripping? Like, are my glasses clear? And they signed Jurickson Profar. So, Chris, give us your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's really feeling the need. It's really feeling the need for
Yeah.
the Braves, and I say that because for one thing, you have a switch hitter in Profar,
Mm-hmm.
and remember the Braves were also looking for. Remember, we was talking about this, guys, especially me and UT. Will remember in the beginning, and how we were saying that the Braves needed a left fielder, they
Mm-hmm.
needed a left-handed bat.
Yep.
So they needed pitching, all that stuff like that. Well, with Profar, you get a switch hitter, so of course you're getting a right-handed and a left-handed batter, and you're also getting a left fielder as well. Now I know we signed Brian De La Cruz, and
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, a lot of us was like, yeah, what I'm saying. I mean, he's decent. He's decent because he hits for power. So we was like, okay. But with this Profar move, I feel like it's good because you got a guy that can play multiple positions as well.
Mm-hmm.
If what I'm saying, God forbid something happens to Ozzy
Bah.
or Orlando,
Mm.
what I'm saying, even though we have seen Ozzy get hurt in the past, it's like at least you have a guy who can possibly step into that role.
Right.
What I'm saying, instead of like how we have them to like kind of like scramble in the past when guys like that would go down. And
That's
then
a
of
good
course,
point.
yeah,
That's
then
a
of
good
course you
point.
got some guys, a guy like Profile, like I said, of course, gonna be out there in left field,
Mm-hmm.
defense. So what I'm saying, so you don't have to necessarily worry about the defense because Profar is a good defender as well. Also, Profar had the most hits of his career
Last year.
last year as
Right.
well.
Right.
So it's just like okay, uh, coming off of it, it's also good too. And I'm thinking about it just right now, as Ronald Acuna is still coming back from injury. You have somebody like Profar who can be at the top of the lineup until Ronald gets fully back, and then
Mm-hmm.
Ronald will probably take over number one, and then Profar you may can have Profar hit at number two and move Ozzy back.
Yeah, that's what we said a little bit ago.
I,
Yeah.
I don't, but the thing about it is, I don't know if Snit is going to want to do that.
Yeah.
Snit likes Ozzy in the beginning of that lineup.
It loves Ozzy.
Mm-hmm.
And you seen it even when he came back from injury. He was immediately slid right back into that second slot,
Right.
not pushed back into the lineup to try to see if he can get his rhythm or anything like that going first. It was
Right.
just right back into the second slot. So for me, I would have to see if Snit is willing to let Profar take over that second slot compared to Ozzy.
Yeah,
And
man.
the great thing is, man, you brought up a little bit ago, Chris, about last year being a career year for Profar, it hitting the 280 and 24 home runs. And
Mm-hmm.
yesterday during the interview, they did a real quick presser with Double A, and a lot of people think that that was an anomaly, but he said from what he looked at last year, it's not an anomaly. That's why he decided to, go ahead and swing for the fences, so to speak, and sign a Profar and relatively good deal at 3 years of $42 million, man. Uh, Shout out to Berto, 95
Berto.
North all day.
Yes,
Wanting no,
sir.
ATL contender this year. Man, like we talked about this a couple of times in reference to the Braves contending, man. It's gonna be difficult for us to actually win that East for one. You look at teams like the Mets, the Phillies, and even the Nationals who made some serious moves before we even made one particular move. The NL East is always going to be a difficult beast to beat, So, but you look at the moves that the Mets made, and then you look at the moves that the Nationals made, and of course the Phillies are the Phillies, So, as far as contending, I think we'll be contenders. Win the East, that's a difficult task right there, but we
Oh
shall
boy.
see.
See, but that's
That's
another
a
thing
difficult
too.
task, man. Yeah.
I know Debo, and that's another thing too, though. But guys, like, I mean, y'all guys have been Braves fans longer than me. Tell me, am I wrong for keeping the faith, even though that's all we have now? I'm
Mhm.
keeping the faith in the possibility of the Braves trusting and relying in their core values, and I'm talking about their core players, so the Ronalds, the Austins, the Matts, et cetera, Ozzy and everything.
Right.
Am I foolish for feeling like the Braves, if they can somehow everything goes right, remain healthy, get back in stride, that even with all the moves being made around the MLB, especially from them damn Dodgers and everything, and after all the moves still being made, that the Braves can still contend because we do have such a core that is so talented that they can possibly still, compete and give teams fits like the Dodgers, like the Phillies, and like the Mets, and so forth and so having.
You're absolutely right. That
Right.
you're right to believe, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, the Braves had an outstanding year in 2023, but those were numbers here too that we've never seen before,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Probably won't see that. But bear in mind, this team had the most injuries of any Major League Baseball team
Hello.
in a while last year, and they still made the playoffs, even with all their injuries, even with all their adversity, even with everybody that went down. They still made the playoffs. Now they were one and done, which we pretty much expected. But if you show me a team that loses their number one starter, first start of the year,
Mm.
loses best outfielder in May, right? And has all of the plethora of injuries that the Braves had, and you still make the playoffs, and now you got all of these guys coming back. No, you're right. You're look it. I'm not saying it's not going to be easy. The Mets got a whole lot better, okay? And the Phillies got a whole lot better, but we
Mm.
are the Atlanta Braves. We won the World Series in 2021, and we did not have near the pitching staff that we do today. Now, are you
Yeah.
right to be concerned? You are. For a couple
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Chris Sale has an injury history. Number two, you used Ronaldo Lopez. You doubled his pitching total,
Yes, you did.
his innings total. I'm sorry. So he threw
What,
like
like he,
60
he
in
pitched the most
2023.
innings. Well, it was like it's been like 3 years. It was like
Yes,
3 years before he pitched
yes,
as many innings as he did
yes,
last year.
Yeah.
yes, yes. So
So that could take a toll. You never know.
it could, and you're right to be concerned. But as far as the Braves lineup, I think we are good, right?
Right.
In this instance, because Acuna has done it before and he's a little older, I think the first time he came back, we were right off of a World Series. So he's hungry to get another one. He's all excited. He probably overdid it a bit. I think he's going to be a little more cautious. But you have time because you have a very good outfielder in Profar. You've got a great outfielder in Harris. And, you can platoon Kelnick and what's our other dude, Debo?
De La Cruz.
De La Cruz. So I think we're good. The other thing that I like specifically with Jurickson Profar, because I know he had career numbers last year, but Josh Donaldson and Batista, I forget his first name, for the Blue Jays back when Alex was their general manager,
Jose Batista.
Mm-hmm. Jose Batista. Yeah.
essentially made the same kind of swing change because Profar did a swing change last year and they were successful and they experienced success. So this has been done before. And I'm just really excited about what we can do with this lineup. We also have a new pitching coach who hopefully is
Yeah.
going to emphasize contact, right? Um, Not necessarily over home runs. Home runs are important, but there's some instances. Look, you just need to get ahead. You just need to make contact. So,
Mm-hmm.
with all
Yeah.
of that
And
going
that's
on,
the guy that we got from the Texas Rangers.
Texas
right,
Rangers. Yeah.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
Hires.
yeah,
Yeah. Hires. Yeah.
I feel good about this lineup. My concern, however, and it's not like Alex hasn't been trying, right? He tried to sign Jeff Holman, and Jeff Holman failed the physical. You can't put that on Alex, right? I
Right.
don't think he wanted to go anywhere near Tanner Scott because the Braves don't like to make records when it comes to signing pitchers. They just don't. They just don't. And I think it's because if you
Tanner
look
Scott
at
would have made this bullpen something
he would. He
something
Man,
nice, something
I
worthwhile.
I was sick when the Dodgers got
Yeah,
him, man.
you're
I was
right.
sick.
the
Because
Dodgers probably made a signing yesterday. I'm so sick of the Dodgers, man. I'm over them.
the
I
thing about it is though, family. I mean, we talk about the Dodgers, but they're not doing anything illegal.
not. They're
Nope.
not.
No.
They have
No.
all the funds to do that type of stuff. It's just unfortunate because like they've been kind of really saving up to this moment,
Yeah.
and they can offer guys contracts that we cannot, regardless. My thing is, like look at some of the contracts that some of these guys have gotten for just 1 and 2 year deals. We're not making those kind of moves because that's a lot of money just for 1 or 2, but they have it to spend. So it's like it's one of those things to where it's like, yeah, I like for example, I can buy the bar, right? But T Will plays for the Dodgers, and he can come in and buy the club and outbid me.
Mm.
Even though it's ridiculous, even though it's stupid, a waste of money, it doesn't matter because he knows that he has that TV deal
Right.
that is going to replenish whatever he spends.
Right. Right.
So we don't have
You
that,
said it.
and
Yeah.
that's tough. That's tough. We probably offered Tanner Scott a good contract, but when the Dodgers come back and say, "Well, we'll give you extra money, extra years, make sure your family is straight and all that stuff like that," and it's just like, well, I mean, what are you going to do as a man? You're not going to, even if you want to play for the Braves, the Dodgers come and offer you boatloads of money because they just have it. You're going to go to the Dodgers,
Right.
so
Yeah.
it's tough. It's tough competing against a team that's just throwing around money. But one thing about it, I still believe that chemistry is a part of sports,
It is.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Totally.
they're gonna have to try to figure out some chemistry with all those people that they got over there. They got a lot of names over there, but people still got to perform. People still got to stay healthy. So I'm more so worried about our team just staying together and being healthy to even be able to compete. Um, I still believe, what I'm saying, we need some help in our pitching for real, for real.
For real.
Um, the bullpen specifically, we may be able to tread along with the starting unit, especially if another question mark, Spencer Strider, when he comes back, what would he be like
Mm.
at his second Tommy John surgery? So it's just like, well, we got some question marks, man, and honestly, it's reason to be concerned because it's like we have so many question marks, and everything has to necessarily go right for us.
Yeah.
We can't afford to blow anything or blow any leads, anything. Like it's just like everything is against the Braves. But the one saving grace they do have is they do have a lot of talent that if they get clicking, the Braves can really, make some noise in the NL East.
My main concern is because we're not going to have Strider or Acuna for a while. How is that set up for us? How are we going to start the season? You know what I mean? Because in Major League, as we all know, in Major League Baseball, if you have a slow start, it's hard to catch up.
That's true.
So are we going to start the season like 4-6 or saying 5-8, something along those lines because we simply don't have the support system as we had last year. But going back to the whole Profar thing, man, I'm excited about it because this man came from, and by the way, those Padres fans, the Padres radio hosts, all of them, I checked them out last night. They are sick to their stomach because this dude is like the core of the team, pretty much, and they are just sick, literally sick. And I was like, wow, and they brought up a good point where I was like, man, this is gonna be crazy. The first game of the season, the first series of the season, we're out there in San Diego,
Ain't
and
that
it's gonna be
something?
that's gonna work itself out. So yeah, that's gonna be
Mm.
something serious right there. Having Profile come back home, man, see what he can do. I mean, like I said, the bat that this man has is unbelievable. Great exit velocity. From what I saw, he has more of a better swing, more contact from the left hand side. But the Birdcage LLC said that best, man. Without any kind of pitching, you know, that's my concern. I'll keep it 100, y'all. I'll be totally honest with you. I'm
Yeah.
concerned as hell about this damn pitcher. Now
Yeah.
I'll keep it a buck. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I look,
That's fair.
I'm excited about Profar and everything, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like
And
it's,
last
it's
year, that was one of our strengths.
yeah,
That
exactly.
was that was the one thing that kept us in it because our hitting wasn't consistent,
Right.
and
Yes.
we need to have consistent pitching because when you go up against, some pitchers who are just not letting your lineup do anything against them, you need to have pitching that can do the same thing and shut
Right,
the other team
right,
down.
right.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you're in for a long season. You're in for a long game.
Yeah,
Pitch clock or not.
my concern is not our my concern is if we can stay healthy, right? Because make
Mhm.
no mistake about it. If Sale, Lopez, Schwellenbach, and Spencer Strider are healthy,
Mhm.
we can take it to the mat with anybody.
Oh, of
Now,
course.
if you want to talk bullpens, that Dodgers team, they got the best bullpen in the league. I mean, they signed everybody.
Yeah.
I truly believe if Jesus were to come back today, they'd try and sign
Yeah,
him.
they signed him.
Gosh, jeez, okay. But other than that, this starting rotation, as constructed, when Strider comes back, is good. The issue is usually in a season, you need pitching depth. And in my opinion, we have no depth. Like last year, you had Freed, right? You had Charlie Morton, which you say what you want, but Morton is usually good for about 180 innings, right? So you
Mhm.
also got to look at the innings that we lost, right? With Morton and Freed combined, we lost a lot of innings, and that's what we got to find, right? And I just, guys, I don't know who's out there. What's his name? Golly, help me out, Chris. We were talking about him the other day.
Who
Pitcher
Flaherty for the Dodgers?
Jack Flannery.
Flaherty's out there, but I mean, you know, the only way I see Flaherty coming to the Braves, because Alex is not going to do a 7-year deal. He's just not. Only way I see Flaherty coming to the Braves is if maybe Alex does a 1 or 2 year deal with a high average annual value, which he would do in the past. But again, you got this tax threshold. So I honestly don't know, guys. I think this team is constructed. If we're really looking at what we got, probably the best thing you can do is add 1 or 2 relievers. And after this move, you probably can only afford 1 reliever. You probably
Yeah.
can't afford a star, right?
But Jurickson, he's making 12 his first year and then 15 the next 2.
Right. But
Mhm.
so the threshold is based on the average annual value of the contract you have. So the average annual value is 14. So that's 14 against the threshold. I don't know where we
Right.
were.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah. I think we were like 20 something under. So in best case, you got $8 million, which I don't think you're going to get any quality pitcher for that. So now it becomes, okay, well, what can you do? And it really boils down to, are you willing to go over it or not? You know what I mean? Are you
That's
willing to
it.
go over it? Because what he said in his press conference yesterday was, if we can find a deal that is worth blocking, I think he used Grant Holmes and AJ Smith-Sauber and others, then we'll do it. But what that says to me is, unless it's worth it, and worth it means, yeah, he's a good pitcher, but we're getting a great deal. Even Profar didn't get what he could have gotten on the market. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I agree with that.
And what that tells me is there are probably some other guys out there that are not convinced that this swing change is going to be, that the impact is going to last. Now, I, for one, think you can do it and probably will. I love the move, but he's still. And then, too, I think Profar is from Curacao, and
Correct.
Ozzy's from Curacao, and I think he and Ozzy are good buddies. So that
Well,
probably
I
plays a
know
role.
I know him and Andrew Jones, I think, are from the same
Yes,
area.
Curacao. Yeah.
Speaking of Andrew Jones, I'm sorry, I'm about to go on a rant.
Uh-oh.
Here's the deal.
Let it go, brother. Let it out. Let's go.
You mean what is it about Andrew Jones that people don't see that this man's a Hall of Famer? What is it?
The same thing I'm asking about Gary Sheffield.
Yeah,
It's the same thing about Gary Sheffield. It's the same thing about Dale Merritt. And the thing about it is, man, I get it. So he played for the Braves. You know what I'm saying? Then, of course, he transitioned over to the Yankees. But this man's a Hall of Famer, hands down. The things this man did in center field were, like I said, some people in our generation and generation before never seen before. What is it about this man that like he's had some moments. He's had some moments. 1996, youngest dude, like 18, 19 years old, hitting home runs in Yankee Stadium for the World Series. Why is he not in the Hall of Fame?
Yes,
Someone explained that to me.
definitely a Hall
He
of
got
Fame
and the
player.
reason I'm bringing it up because he got snubbed again yesterday.
He did.
And
He did.
I think after a certain amount of snubs that that disqualifies you from the Hall.
It does. The Veterans Committee at that point would then they can still vote you in, but they would have to, and that's probably what's going to happen to him. Look at Andrew Jones in my lifetime was the best center fielder that I had ever seen. And my father and I got into it. I'm not going to call it an argument. I'm going to call it a very passionate discussion. My
There we
dad,
go. Spirited.
Spirited discussion.
Yeah,
there you
very
go.
spirited discussion. So my dad would be downstairs shining his shoes because that's what he did, and we'd be down there talking. And I was like, Dad, I think Andrew Jones is the best center fielder I've ever seen. And he was like, he didn't say it like that, but I'm doing it for the story. Son. No, son, it was Willie Mays. And I was like, Dad, no disrespect to you, but I've never seen Willie Mays do what Andrew Jones is doing now. Okay,
Right.
now Willie Mays was great, and I didn't see Willie Mays, right? It makes a difference when you see a player every day. I saw Andrew Jones make plays every day. And the thing about Andrew Jones is Andrew Jones would play up. He wouldn't play back because he could go back on the ball better than anybody I'd ever seen. He would play up, right? He would play up. And so it would cut off a lot of singles because he'd run and he also would choose a great path to the ball. So Andrew Jones, you know how a lot of guys dive unnecessarily? Andrew Jones never did that, but he got to everything. And there's a catch that he made, that Spider-Man catch. Degree of difficulty of that catch is
I still have the bobblehead for that.
Right. I've only seen one catch better than that. And it wasn't the catch by Willie Mays in the World Series. It was a catch by Jim, what's his name? Golly. He played for the Angels. I can't think of his name. Jim Edmonds, right. And his back his back is completely turned to the field, and the ball's a line drive. And he's running for it, and he dives going forward and makes a catch like a receiver. But the reason that is so difficult is because a baseball and a football move totally different, right?
They do.
If a right-hander hits a line drive to center field, it's coming straight at you, but it can also move to the left or right. So turn your back on a ball like on a line, you really got to be able to track the ball. That's the greatest catch I've seen. Other than that Spider-Man catch that Andrew Jones made, going up, catching that ball back to the field, both cleats on there. Right now, understand he could have broken every bone in his body. Okay, that I wouldn't recommend. If you don't know what you're doing and you're out playing weekend softball, please don't try that because you will tear every ligament in your leg. I understand the degree of difficulty in that catch I've never seen. And Andrew Jones did this routinely. Andrew Jones is also the first kid that I've seen, 18 years old, hit 2 home runs in his debut game in the World Series.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Just came up there and smacked him. And if it wasn't for Mark Wohlers and that damn changeup he threw to Jim Leyritz, we might have won 2 World Series in the 90s, but I'm not still pissed about it or anything.
I do agree with what you said, Chris. I don't understand why Gary Sheffield was not a Hall of Fame either, bro.
Yeah, I don't because he's got a lot. He's got the numbers. Honestly, I feel like he has the numbers, and he's been snubbed multiple times. And even his son, Gary Sheffield Jr. About a year ago, we had an interview with him a year or so ago, and we talked about it on there as well. And he the thing about Sheffield Jr., he really goes to bat for his dad. I really do like that. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't just say, "Oh, my dad should be in the Hall of Fame." He backs it up with numbers.
Yeah.
He backs it up with the information on, "Oh, this guy's in the Hall of Fame. Look at his numbers. Look at my dad's numbers." Like I get it. I think Sheffield should be as well. I think Andrew Jones should be as well. To your point, real quick, T. Will, another catch that I gotta mention is that old Ken Griffey Jr. catch where he goes and he catches it and brings it back brings it back in, and then and to talk like Ken Griffey Jr. was another guy that could rob you of home runs and just he was just a great player, man. I
Oh man, for
enjoyed Ken
sure,
Griffey as
for
well.
sure.
Yeah,
I
that
enjoyed
swing,
Ken
man.
Griffey as well.
That swing. Hey, we got a guy that joined us, Ryan the historian.
What's good,
Well, not a
Ryan? How you
guy.
doing, family?
Ron, how you
He's a
doing, man?
superstar like you guys. So you got Ryan, you got A1, you got Debo vibes, and you got T Will bringing up the rear. Ryan the historian, how you doing this morning, brother? How's everything going?
What's going on, man? You know how it goes. You gotta have your my pockets right now are on a green diet right now is what we would say. I'm at JOB. Got my break, so I got to slide up in here, baby. So gotta have my pockets on that green diet or whatnot. That's the best diet to have because the bill collectors definitely are snatching my lettuce away.
Boy, who you
Hey,
tell?
man. Hey, I think Ryan the historian should be Ryan the poet because if you hear him talk long enough, like I swear, man, we're gonna go somewhere Wednesday night and see Ryan up on the stage. How's everybody doing? He's gonna be doing his poetry up on stage. But Ryan,
You know what's funny?
what's up?
I've been writing poetry since I was a kid, and I've done some shows. So yeah.
See there?
So
there you have it. There you freaking have it.
I've won a couple of contests, but
I believe it.
but let's talk about it, man. So when we sit back and talk about some of the greats, I think Andrew Jones is up there. But the one thing you can't dismiss, because I heard you say Willie Mays, and Willie was just, I'm gonna be real with you, Willie was different.
He was.
He had the flair for dramatics. Andrew Jones had the flair for dramatics. Like we had our Willie Mays, which was Andrew Jones. Let's keep that a book. That was our Willie Mays. And I'm gonna give you this. And like I said, I respect a lot of the greats that came before. Gary Sheffield should be in the Hall of Fame. Hell, even though Pete Rose got his situation, he should be in the Hall of Fame right now. But we ain't even gonna get into that.
It should be.
Willie, just think about it, man. Willie had a 301 batting average, career-wise. 301. 339 stolen bases and 3,293 hits. Now, just think about this. Willie could have had more hits or whatnot if the Giants would have stayed in New York at that time in the Polo Grounds. A lot of stuff changed for him when he went to Frisco, when they moved. Because if anybody's ever been to that Bay Area or whatnot, the winds off of the water where that stadium used to be, where Candlestick used to be, that was very hard for hitters back in the day. So, and I'm not going to take away from that because Andrew, I believe, should be in there, just like Dale Murphy. I mean, there are so many guys that are deserving to be in the Hall of Fame that still are waiting that should not be waiting. Seriously. And I'm going to give you this. Now, we were talking about the current Braves roster. Here's my thing. I get that we're trying to get hitters. I get that we're trying to get guys to be in the center field. What Double A's philosophy should have been this offseason, you should have been looking at who the best arms are and creating a rotation, and then also loading up in this bullpen. That's what you should have been doing. And that's just my opinion on that, because we're one of the only teams that has a salary cap. What baseball teams do you know that have a salary cap, man? Just be honest, man.
They got a few. So
but not like us though.
I know.
T-Will, not like us though, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what Ryan.
T-Will, we squeeze ketchup packets or whatnot to fill up a ketchup bottle. That's how cheap we are. Let's just be real.
We do.
But I gotta be honest, Ryan. We got a payroll of $200 million, so the Braves want value. And look, I'm not going to say we're not cheap. The Braves will spend money, but they spend it according to a certain process, right?
Yeah, they don't like to cross a certain threshold.
We develop our homegrown talent. I understand it, and we also enhance guys when they come here as well. When you talk about the coaching that we have, but. From our standpoint, because of the Braves that we grew up on, you're a little older than me. And, like I said, I'm 37. So I watched the Braves when we made that turnaround in the early 90s or whatnot, and going into where we're at now. I got to watch that. I watched when Dale Murphy was traded. was traded off to the Phillies. I watched that. You know, I've never seen my grandfather that pissed off or whatever. But when we started winning, my grandfather forgot all about it. So again, winning trumps everything. And at this point, I can't be mad at the Braves because for us to get to the playoffs, limping into the playoffs with the type of team that we limped in with, man, all we can do is just say it was a hell of a coaching job. And we give Snit a lot of grief or whatnot because of some of the questionable decisions, but I got to give it to him for a team that wasn't supposed to make it last year. Hey, he did a hell of a job. Got to give it to him.
Hell of a job.
Word
Yeah,
up.
agreed. Agreed. Debo, I know you got a few minutes with us, so let's do this. You are Alex Anthopoulos. Now, mind you, okay, I know Alex says that he's never been told, no, Alex, I love you, but that is BS, okay?
Right.
In the context
So you don't believe it.
in the context of that, you have one other move that you can make, right? You get one. Who's that going to be and why? Who out on the open market are you going to sign? You got one move you can make.
Right.
And why?
Yeah. It's Flaherty from the Dodgers.
Okay.
Straight up. That's the move I'm going to make because you're looking at a disgruntled dude. He don't want to be in LA no more, and he's only 29 years old. The only thing about it is like being 29 years old, he's going to want a long-term contract, which Double A is not going to do, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, but if there was one player out there I would sign to shore up that rotation, it'll be Flaherty. But just like Ryan said, man, this should have been done.
Yeah.
Particularly with the bullpen. But to answer your question, yeah, it would definitely be Flaherty from the Dodgers, bro.
All right. A1, same question. What you got?
T. Will, same answer. Jack Flaherty. It's just, no, for real, because my thing is, again, he's 29. And that's right there is the problem because he's young enough to still garner another contract that'll be big. But no one has given it to him yet. And that's also something else that I look at. I'm like, you know, why doesn't anybody want Flannery? Is he asking for too much? Like, what is going on behind the scenes?
Or do they not trust the metrics, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, you know. But I would love to have him to add to this pitching staff just to have another weapon to go to battle with.
Yeah.
You know, and then a guy who, you know, you never know. He may pitch lights out against the Dodgers. You never know. You know, so when it's time for us to play against them and just help us overall, we do have guys like Spencer. That's a question mark. Chris Sale, can he repeat his Cy Young, you know, campaign? Can Raylo hold up because you know he pitched a lot of innings? So again, we've already said about a lot of question marks that we had. Flannery can at least come in and step in to kind of like answer some of those questions, or at least be some depth. And a lot of guys who we are talking about, like for example, a Grant Holmes, who we talk about who could possibly be starting. You don't have to do him like that. You just keep him in the bullpen and preserve that arm even more. And other guys too, Bummer, but Smith Sharper, you know, other guys too, but still, just like, you know.
Yeah, I like even if you sign Flaherty, you're not going to rush Spencer in there. So Grant Holmes, even if you sign another pitcher, is probably going to be your fifth starter. But Debo, you got a few more moments, or you got to go? Like, what are we doing? What are we looking at on your time situation?
Oh, you know me, man. I got to head on out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Ryan said, man, got to, you know what I'm saying, get on that clock and knock it out. You know what I'm talking about?
You on that green diet?
Yeah, I'm on that green diet, boy. Before I leave, though, man, I'm gonna ask y'all. I got my old school question of the day for y'all.
Here
right
we
quick,
go.
man.
Here we go.
You know what I'm saying? The old school question of the day. We're gonna talk about 1990s, man. I want. Oh, well, say it was for T. Will, but since we got Ryan, we got Chris, I want your input as well. What is y'all's number one 1990s one-hit wonder?
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, my. You know what? I'm going to go to the poet first. Ryan, the poet historian. See what I did there, Ryan? I just gave you a new moniker, man. What? Give me your, and I know you got one, Ryan, because Ryan.
What genre of music do you want?
It can be hip hop, R&B. It don't matter as long as it's a one hit wonder and somewhere in the early to mid '90s, man.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah,
All right. I got one.
indulge us.
I got one for you. The song is still used and it's been remixed or whatnot. You gotta go with Return of the Mac, Mark Morrison, which was originally wait a minute, which was originally sampled off of Chucky Booker's Games. Yeah. Classic cut. Always will be.
Okay.
wow.
Yeah. A lot of people don't even know who Chucky Booker is or whatnot. For you youngsters out there,
man,
you need to go ahead and listen to Mr. Spread My Wings and everything else from Mr. Chucky Booker. Please.
Turned away.
Turned away.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Turned away. Yeah. Hey, Ryan, that's a good one, man. That's a very good one.
Return to Mac. Okay.
Chris, I hate you got to follow that, but
yeah, I hate I do too. That's tough. Okay, I'm gonna say Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back.
Okay, that's a good one.
Okay.
I like them. Yeah, okay.
Let me tell you, hey, Chris, let me tell you something. Being a teenage boy with hormones watching that video will do something to you.
Man, listen.
Oh
wow. So great question, Debo. For me, it's gonna be CC Music Factory, Gonna Make You Sweat.
Oh man, okay.
Oh, classic.
Right? Man.
Yeah.
Man, when that beat dropped, I hear you, boy.
Yeah. Wait, don't they still have, like, I know on Facebook sometimes they'll play that song and there's a guy like, oh no, you didn't. And whoever's listening to it has to get up and do the Running Man or do you still see that on Facebook. I don't know if you see it on Twitter or Instagram, but Anyway, great question. Who's yours, Debo?
Mine's would be Rex and Effects Rump Shaker.
There we go. It's so funny. I thought about that too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's mine, boy. Yeah. That's mine. That's my one hit wonder, boy.
Was that Teddy Riley?
That's Teddy Riley. Yeah,
that's Teddy Riley.
Teddy Riley, yes, sir.
Okay. That's Teddy Riley, fresh out of guy.
Hey, Ryan. Let me ask y'all a question. Which Teddy Riley was more fly? Which one y'all prefer? The Teddy Riley with Guy or Teddy Riley with Blackstreet?
I think Blackstreet had more range. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Aaron, I can't think of Aaron's last name.
Aaron Hall.
Great singer, but they kind of were in like one. Like, I love Guy, and that I like is my favorite. You take me back to my high school days now.
Me too. Yeah. Let's chill.
He was probably on the phone. He was probably on the phone caking back in the day. Had that. Let me get a piece of your love.
Hey, what you talking about?
Love you.
Oh, yo.
Damn, you hear this? Oh, Tim in here. Damn it. I wish my wife was in the room.
Man.
Hey, I guarantee you he was playing Piece of Your Love on the phone, talking on the phone with the lady, with his wife back in the day.
That was.
I was
singing it and all.
Playing Let's Chill, huh?
Yeah, for me though, I'm gonna say, and Pandemic has a good one with Ice Ice Baby, but
ooh, man, okay, that's a good one.
For me, I'm gonna say it was Blackstreet because they were more flexible. Like they could do different songs, and to me, it just seemed like the variety that they could provide, the range, there you go. The range artistically that they had was a little bit more than Guy. Now, if we're talking about just pure singing, you got to give it to Aaron Hall, okay? But if you're talking about the range of music that they could do, for me, it was Blackstreet. But
Blackstreet.
Remember they got rid of Dave Hollister early because he and one of the founding members got an argument. So that was the vocalist in that group.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're right though. Good range on them.
Right. Mine's would be, I would say God. The reason I say Teddy Riley with God, what God did to the culture by Fusion New
Mm-hmm.
Jack Swing
New Jack
with
Swing.
things like Groove Me, and
Yep.
like you said, I like those are those are songs that changed the culture that
You left
contributed to
one
a
out.
culture. Which
You
one?
left one out.
Mid part. Which
God.
one? Which one, bro?
Teddy Jam for me.
Oh, I
Damn,
thought
Dum
yeah.
dum da dum.
Teddy's
You
Jam.
left
Oh,
one out.
damn.
They were
How
Teddy's
do you
Jam.
forget about
God
Jam?
damn. Hey man, it's early in the morning, dog. I'm still
But
half asleep, man.
Hey
y'all
man,
made me
hey, remember
put on
this.
some tunes this morning.
Remember this. Every time at a Hawks game when you hear Jam,
Yeah.
they sample the Teddy Riley song.
Yeah, they
Think
did.
about it.
Yeah.
Every time it's a dunk.
And you talk about culture. You talk about culture. They were in the movie New Jack City.
Yeah.
Which,
Yep.
there had never been a movie like that done before. I mean,
No,
that
not whatsoever. I don't
movie
believe
was, it's old now, but I was around. I was 21 when that movie came out, and we were just shook. I must have seen New Jack City that year alone.
Damn, you old boy.
At least 10 times.
You was 21.
Stop it. Okay.
Hey, he was T. Will.
I get
T.
it.
Will.
I'm old.
T. Will was around. T. Will was around when Ron O'Neal was Superfly with that perm. And then he came into the New Jack era with Wesley Snipes lead. See, that's how you know it changed. When you got a dark skinned chocolate brother having the lead role. Come on, man.
Yeah, there it is.
Brian is absolutely right, man. But what a movie that was. And for them to be in that movie, it was them.
Ice-T, Mario Van Peebles.
Yeah, Sonny Spoon.
You had your boy. You had your boy from the Breakfast Club. Bill Nunn was the Dutter man. Bill Nunn, Morehouse graduate. Rest in peace. And then Alan Payne was G Money.
G Money, yep. That dude, and the quotes are still. I still see these quotes from the movie. You know what I mean? Am I my brother's keeper?
Am I my brother's keeper?
Huh,
Miss Hawkins? Huh, Miss Hawkins?
Sit your $5 ass down before I decide to make change.
Yes,
man. I ain't gonna lie.
I still think the greatest line. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I still think the greatest line was when, and everybody might say this isn't, when Wesley Snipes was him and his brother was in the room with their ladies or whatever. He's looking and he got jealous. He said, "If I was you, I'd find the pimples on the booty if I was you," and just walked off. That's a classic line.
What was her name? Uniqua, right?
Yeah.
What a name.
Oh, and remember she played the lead and She's Gotta Have It.
She sure did.
She did, didn't she? Wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I still remember the scene to where he poured the champagne on us and I get another bitch.
He said, "Cancel that bitch."
That's what.
Hey, T. Will, you forgot something too. It was a significant character in there that we all listened to. Well, y'all listened to him when he was young. Everybody keep forgetting Ashford Simpson was the crooked preacher in that movie.
He was the preacher in there. Yeah, he sure was.
With that S curl on his head.
Yeah, he sure was.
Crooked as he was.
The crooked preacher, boy.
Devils ain't got no love.
You talking about Bill? You talking about Bill Cobb? You're poisoning your own people.
Right.
Idolatry, your soul is required in hell. Oh man.
Hey fellas, man, with that, man, I gotta go ahead and jump off, man. Handle
your business, my brother.
Sir. Debo, let me tell you something, man. It is so much fun doing this show with you, brother. I wish we could do more, but it is what it is. But thank you for joining us. Tell everybody where they can find you, and also tell them about, you're a foodie as well. Tell them about all of that.
Man, yeah, for sure, man. Follow your boy on Debo Vibes, DEBOE Vibes. A lot of was Falcons talk, but of course, your boy's still gonna do some Hawks talk. A lot of Braves talk, man. A lot of Braves talk. Now going back to the foodie aspect, I am a foodie. I just did a food video last week. I was at Took's Barbecue in Rex, Georgia. Some of the best barbecue I've ever had. So if y'all want to see the video, peep it out. I definitely appreciate the support. I'm gonna do another foodie video probably sometime this week or definitely next week. Just all this is sampling some great restaurants around the south side of town, Clayton County, Henry County. Sometime I even head up to Decatur. But man, it's Atlanta, Georgia. So many great restaurants, so many small restaurants that gotta be supported by the community, and that's what I'm about right there. But I just did, like I said, a foodie video at Tooks Barbecue in Rex, Georgia. Check it out. Let me know what you think. It's getting some good reviews so far. But how about your boy? I definitely appreciate any kind of support y'all give, man. And for sure. And T Will, thank you so much
All
for the
right,
kind
Devo.
words. I appreciate it, man.
Hey man, we're glad to have you. Have a great weekend,
Yes,
and brother,
sir.
I'll see you Tuesday morning.
Yes,
Hopefully,
sir.
the
See you there.
Talk with you soon, man.
You already know. You already know. Hold tight. All right, y'all take care, fellas. Yep.
All right, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Man, great discussion. I love Debo vibes, man. He just brings a refreshing perspective, and I tell you what, man, there's so much talent in this room right here with Chris A1 and Ryan, the historian, and the fact that Ryan just knows. Ryan, you're like a Renaissance dude, man. Like history, like bro. You know what? Were you raised around your granddad? Because it's almost like you have his wisdom.
Outside of being raised around older people, I had to read back in the day. So, that was what got me into it, reading a lot of stuff and watching documentaries and just doing research myself, man. So that's why I call that was why I got the nickname the historian, man.
Yeah, I think after the second time that I met Ryan, it was like, okay, I really understand why he called himself the historian, because he just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like the thing about things that he brings up. Sometimes, even if you do know it, it's like, man, I forgot about that, or man, I wasn't thinking about that, or you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, and he'll bring it up to you, or he'll teach you something at the same time too. Oh, I didn't even know that, or I didn't even remember that, or whatever the case may be. So, like that's why I told you before, bro. I'll tell you right here again, man. Stay right there with that, because that is exactly who you are, and that's your lane. Hey, man, do your thing.
Yeah, and we need that.
Appreciate it.
We need that in so many ways, because if you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going, and we definitely need historians to remind us of just where we've been and who we are. So definitely appreciate you guys this morning. Look, it apparently one time for the fan is not going to do a morning show, so we got a little bit of time left, guys. If you want, we can pivot and change to some Falcons, and then maybe a little bit later we can get into some Hogs. But
I was gonna shoot y'all a compliment real quick before you changed it, man, because without
go ahead.
Without guys like yourself, I feel like I'm a gatekeeper of the history or whatnot, and I gotta keep that around. But at the same time, without you guys, I wouldn't be able to mesh the historical concepts with the current games that we see now or current things that go on right now. So, it was something my grandmother told me. She says, always stay current, but you always keep the history alive so you can continue to keep it going. Because remember, I'm not even trying to be funny, because like I said, I'm all about my people. I just leave it like that. But we don't have any books or histories or anything. So word of mouth and memory goes hand in hand. So that's the way that you can it's the same way you keep sports history alive. A lot of stuff is never going to be talked about. So when you talk to these old heads that were watching this back in the day or around, it's always cool. Like February the 13th, I got a gentleman, and T. Will, you might know who he is. He played in the NBA for a while, came out of Villanova. His name is Wally Jones. He'll be coming on the show February the 13th. He used to play for the Hawks back in the day.
I was about to say, that name sounds familiar, though.
Yep. Wally Jones played for the Hawks. He was with Walt Hazard was his homeboy. He was cool with Sweet Lou Hudson. He knew Pistol Pete Maravich. He's coming on my show in March. But Bobby Dandridge, who played for the Bucks and the Washington Bullets, he's coming on the show in a few weeks. So that's why I'm telling you, right? That's why I'm telling you, we talk new school ball, but we also got to keep some of the legends that are alive. You know what I'm saying? We also got to keep some of the legends that are alive right now, still let them tell their stories and let you know what really happened. So it's like, all right, it's coming from the horse's mouth. So that's why I say it's important for all of us to mesh, because without T. Will doing morning shows or whatnot, keeping folks, that might miss the evening shows that we host, A1, he keeps folks grounded in the mornings with laughter as well as knowledge. You do your thing with just being able to have shorts, be able to educate folks and keep people current. Like you guys are really like current event reporters. And T Will is like T Will, you're pretty much classic like the Tom Joyner Morning Show, my brother. That's what you really remind me of. You're the
Hey,
sports version of the
it's
Tom
funny.
Joyner Morning Show.
That's funny. That's a great comparison because I
Hey,
mean, shoot,
You're
because I
the
mean,
hardest working man in
you would know
radio
all
in the
about the
morning.
time doing the air, so you know all
Yes,
about it.
sir. That's the
Hey,
compliment I
during the
got for
morning
y'all.
show,
I
man, I
apologize.
remember. I'm old
I
enough to
apologize for
remember.
being long-winded.
It's the time doing
Join the
the morning show.
morning show. I apologize for being long-winded, but I got to give y'all flowers
Nah,
because we as podcast hosts or just content creators, we work, but we always seem to get forgotten sometimes, even by
right.
our own people. So I appreciate everything that you guys do, man. Thank y'all for always letting me come on y'all shows.
No
of
problem,
course.
brother.
Hey, Ryan, let me tell you something, brother. And I look when I say this, I keep the context, bro. We love you, brother. We love you, and shit. Everybody in this podcast community loves you, and you know we all know everybody loves Chris. Hey, see what I did there? Everybody loves Chris. You guys missed it. All right. No.
No, I got it because everybody don't hate Chris like the TV show.
Right. No, but I mean seriously, Chris is on everything. Like Chris is probably you think I work hard. Chris is up like I think Chris was doing a video for me up it and several videos, and I sent him a video
Yeah.
at 4 a.m, right? No, yeah. Wait. It
Yeah,
might have been
it was like 4 in the morning.
yeah. And then like I woke up. No, the point is it was done at 6 a.m, right? And I think Chris and I had a show at 8, and I just knew he wasn't going to be available, and damn it if he didn't. And I'm like, whoa, this dude is serious. Like he, so Chris,
Hey,
Chris,
I'm just a guy that, man, if I say I'm gonna do something, I really try my best to do it. You know what I'm saying? And then even if I can't, I try my best to, let you know ahead of time that I'm not gonna make it. Because I mean, like Tony said, man, all I got is my word and you know what else.
yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
and it's really that simple for me, man. I mean, it ain't a whole lot else that I have or have that I own and everything anyway. So if I can keep my word or to be a person of integrity, somebody that shows character and everything like that, somebody also that can stand for something, I feel like that can get me a long way in this world. So yeah, man, and work ethic, man. I just have good work ethic as
He
well
does. He
and
does.
stuff. So, you
Hey
know.
guys,
Yep.
before we get into the Falcons, because hey, blame Debo. Debo
Mm-hmm.
started this. Now he's got my mind going.
Oh,
Favorite
Ryan, if you can drop your channel in the chat, strapped up 24
was
wants
asking
to know what your
what the
channel is so you can follow you.
yeah.
All right, I can do that.
So guys, give me your favorite movie quote. It could be any movie, right? Favorite movie quote. And since Ryan is about to drop his chat in there, yeah, Chris, we'll start with you. Give me your favorite movie quote.
Oh, shoot, that's tough. That's tough. There's so many movies, man. There's so many good quotes. I don't know. That's shoot, man. I've been on stage. I've been on stage right with Scarface and with what I just said. To be honest with you, because you think about it, that's really all that we have as being for real, for real. That we got to have our word, and if you think about it, if you well for a grown man, if you can't trust another grown man's word, what is it? You know what I'm saying? And then for the other part, if you don't have that to get up and go out and you know what I'm saying, handle your business, do everything that you gotta do, make the tough decisions, then what are you? So it's just like, man, for me, man, in this world, all I have is my word and my voice.
Ryan, and that's from Scarface. Ryan, what's your favorite movie quote?
Oh, so many.
That's what I'm saying. It really is.
It's hard for me.
All right, I'll give you mine. Who's gonna do it? You, Lieutenant Weinberg. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that right. My existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible, saves lives. I have neither the time or the inclination to explain myself to a man who questions the security that I provide. That's A Few Good Men. Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. I was about to say it's definitely military, but what is it? Oh, but A Few Good Men will be a new movie to me right now.
Oh man, let me tell you something.
Bro, I've seen that movie as a kid. Just like what else would be Broken Arrow? That would be a new movie to me. Even though I remember it, it's just like Broken Arrow. What else? Man, what's that movie with Nick Cage in it to where he got the long hair? Is it Con Air? Yeah, Con Air. That's another one.
Nicolas Cage.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
John Brooks has a good one. John Brooks has a good one.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
What you got?
All right. So I got one for you. I'm gonna go back to, like I said, I'm a historical cat. You know, I got many comedies too that I love, but I'll just say this: what we do in life echoes in eternity. Maximus Decimus Meridius, Gladiator. That is something I live by.
Yeah,
it's something I live by.
Nope.
So on that part, I'll say that. But on the comedy side, I gotta go with I gotta go with Friday. Gotta go with Pops. Gotta go with John Witherspoon, the legend. Rest in peace.
Oh gosh.
indeed.
The word today is job. JOB. You're gonna get your job today.
My favorite was, hey, we used our fist in our day, son. You know what I mean? You might lose, but you live, son. You live to fight another day. You
kids are nothing but punks. 65. So quick to pick up a gun. Scared to take an ass whipping.
Hey.
This is all you had. And it's true. Them old school cats always say that.
Yeah. John Brooks has one when I think it's in Rocky 6, where he's talking
Rocky Balboa. Yep. His son.
Like, life ain't always sunshine and rainbows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, winners don't do that. Losers do that, and that's not you. Now you got to be willing to take the hits, okay? But it's not about getting knocked down. It's about how many times you can get knocked down and still get up. I love Rocky, by the way.
Man, speaking of Rocky, how iconic was that situation where that movie scene? Well, you know, it was longer than just one movie scene, but the one where he really with Apollo Creed just really just dug into Rocky into the ring. Man, I just every time I see that scene, man, I always get chills because it's just like, bro, like like that was real brotherhood right there. You know
why he told him that, right? It wasn't just because of. I want you to think about this. Apollo retired after he lost to Rocky. That was the only fight he had lost, next to losing the Dragon and getting killed.
Yeah.
He said he remembered what that hurt was like, and he's never lived it down. No matter what happened, he never was able to shake that demon of losing, and he didn't want Rock to feel that. So again, it was a reason why he said that to him. Like, I'm living this. You not living what I'm living. So, hey, you understand it or whatever. But that's crazy.
My favorite Rocky movie is Rocky 4. And
of
there
course.
was memorable kind. But the one I remember is when she's like, "You can't win. You know how strong he is." And Rocky and true Rocky facts. Well, in order to beat me, he's gonna have to stand in front of me and kill me, and I don't know if he can do that. I don't know. And then he goes and hops in the DeLorean or whatever, and they turn on the soundtrack, "No Easy Way Out," and I just love that movie. Except for the part with Robot. Paulie was a creep, man. Can we?
No, wait a minute. You can't jump on my man Paulie like that. Wait a minute. Listen. No, Paulie was a jerk, but in the first Rocky, let's just be real. I mean, he was a jerk all through the series, but my favorite Paulie scene is when they come from the bar and he says, "Thanksgiving." Okay. She says, I can't go. Why? Got a turkey in the oven. Oh, a turkey in the oven. Grabs his hat, throws the turkey in the oven. But people don't know this, though. They actually had to catch somebody out in the alley catching the bird because they shot that scene like 27 times. So he ate that turkey leg, but then he said, "Hey, I want you out of the house. Sick of seeing you hang around like a freaking spider." Like that was just like it's little jabs like that you think like wow. But little known fact before we get to the Falcons, like you said, T. Will, a lot of people don't know that Paulie, well, Burt Young, who portrayed Paulie, was actually a real boxer.
I did not know that.
He also was a Marine. He's deceased now, so you can say was or prior Marine. Yeah. So he was a Marine and he fought in the Marines and actually fought professionally before he took up acting. And he was actually a hell of a fighter.
Hey man, that's great. So we got a couple more quotes we got to catch up on because people put that in there.
Yeah, we got some good quotes in there. I'm seeing.
So John Brooks says I got another one from a movie. He ain't getting my cornbread. You want your cornbread?
Yeah, life. Yeah,
don't
life
you give him that? Don't you give him that? And you're right. And then Carrie, and again, this is from Rocky 6.
Rocky Balboa.
Nobody is gonna hit as hard as life, but it ain't how hard you get hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Oh, I love that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Way to go, Gary.
That's damn sure true.
Take that. Auntie Pam is in here this morning.
Auntie Pam, what's going on?
Let's get into some Falcons.
Look, yes, sir.
A very important thing happened yesterday. And guys, I'm typically not the kind of guy that's going to see like my division rivals have a bad incident and be happy about it. But in this case, I am. So the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Bucks is going to leave. And I, for one, am happy to see him go because, those Bucks are hell.
Nah, I give Liam his shout out. He did something that I didn't think he was going to be able to do. And that's, to revamp that offense for the Bucks and have them still chugging. Them guys only lost one game down the stretch. And they won every game that they had to, and that offense was just clicking. The offense was keeping them in it. Liam Cohen, we thought they was going to fall off a cliff after Dave Canales. I know we talked about that in our group chat, but they did not. Liam Cohen, they brought Liam Cohen in, and then he was able to, do what he did. But for him to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to extend with you guys, and then, so they don't hear from him, then he basically backdoors them. And goes and has a meeting with Shad Khan. It just, I love to see it. I'm sorry, I love to see it. I'm one of those people because they always happy when something happens against us. It doesn't matter. I feel like the only fan base that's probably like kind of chill is the Panthers fan base, but the Bucks and those Aints, they never let us. They never give us any breathing room anyway. So I'm not giving you any either. I'm glad that you're losing your OC. I'm glad that he's backdooring you. I'm glad. My thing is, like I said in the chat, these Coens ain't loyal.
Oh man,
that ain't the only good. That's not the only good news in the division. T. Will, you forgot something.
What's that? Well, hold on. We got to introduce the very lovely and very talented Miss Carrie. Everybody, good morning, Miss Carrie. How are you this morning?
Good morning, everyone. Happy Falcons Friday. How you doing?
Doing great.
Hi, Carrie.
You got T. Will. That's all. Good morning, and then you got Miss. Good morning, everyone.
How's everybody? What's good, Carrie? Girl, Falcons Friday. They wasn't in it yet, girl.
I know. I can't help it. My voice is just super soft spoken, but I'm with you, Chris. I'm hype. I had to join the show because it's nice to get some good news, regarding our division. So I was.
That's right. That's right, Ryan. I'm sorry for cutting you off. What was your?
Oh no,
news, Ryan.
You always got to introduce Carrie. I shut the hell up.
Yeah, man. Lady in the room,
please, lady in the room. But let's get to it. Aaron Glenn signed with the Jets instead of New Orleans Saints because what would have happened? He was going to be the Saints head coach. So guess what? New Orleans still trying to figure out who's going to be their head coach. That right there would have been a problem in this division if he would have became the coach.
Right.
Say what you want.
Yeah. No. I completely agree with you. Ryan, and we were celebrating and rejoicing about that a couple of days ago when we had seen that when I seen that report that came out about him pretty much letting everyone know, hey, I'm taking the Jets job. I was like, yes, look at go. I was like, Jets, do something right for once.
Right.
I was like, thank God, because if he goes to New Orleans, he's gonna have at least 5 years, not 4. He's gonna have 5 years to get it right. New York, I believe they gonna. Hopefully they don't screw him over like they did Robert
Yeah.
Saleh. But hey, I'm just glad New Orleans didn't get him. Now New Orleans got to be either stuck with Mike McCarthy or they gonna get Joe Brady, who's never been a head coach. So I'm okay with inexperience coming in there. You understand what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Definitely good with that.
Agreed. Question. So, guys, is Aaron Rodgers signed for this year as well, or was he 1 year? Like, is he? Because, and I bring it up because Aaron Rodgers at this point, in my humble opinion, first ballot Hall of Famer, but a locker room cancer. And
Bro,
honestly,
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't even consider Aaron a first ballot Hall of Famer, and people may call me crazy.
I do. I mean, hey,
It's
say what
bec-
you want.
Yep.
know, Aaron Rodgers is that dude. But if like what he has become, again, let's go back to movie quotes. You stay the hero long enough, you become the villain. I think that's from Batman: The Dark Knight. But
Yeah.
he literally
He's definitely the villain
like
now.
a villain, right? Like a
Right.
serious villain. And if I'm Aaron Glenn, I don't want him on my team.
I'll take that back,
or
man.
it's gonna be that meeting where or it's gonna be that meeting where he get in that. It's gonna be a one-on-one meeting with Aaron Glenn because Aaron Glenn's a former player, by the way, who is definitely a good one. Yeah, and he definitely was a good one at corner. I can tell you that now. And the attitude that he has, he gonna let him know, like, look, you either gonna, as we say in the birdcage, you either gonna get right or you gonna get left because this is my first head coaching job. I'm not putting up with the bullshit. I already know he's a no nonsense coach. He's a player's coach, but he's a no nonsense guy. Aaron can't handle dealing with those guys.
Hey, you guys see? No, you're right. He can't. He can't. You see, Auntie Pam new deal fell through.
Yeah, he wanted Mickey Loomis gone. He didn't want to work with Mickey Loomis. He asked that in the front office.
Okay.
He asked that in the front office.
But Mickey Loomis can't go anywhere. Mickey Loomis owns part of the team.
Yep.
Like
he
I
said,
learned,
Mickey Loomis is the GM. I'm not coming.
but I will say to TJ over there at the State of the Saints. He informed me of that Mickey Loomis is part owner of the team because of what the previous owner before he passed away put into the contract. So you can't just get rid of Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis got to get rid of himself if he wants to.
That is powerful.
He ain't going nowhere.
T-Will, so he has 1 year left on his deal, and they only have to pay him, I think, like $2 or $3 million. So it's likely he's going to be there to stay one more year. I thought maybe they'd get rid of him in the offseason, but I don't know that they have many options at quarterback.
Talking about Carr?
No, talking about Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Dang, I forgot about Aaron already.
I would cut him. I would.
I mean, me too. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I think he's a cancer, like you mentioned, and I also think that why are you going to run it back with this quarterback that you clearly see is not it? He's injury prone. His best days are past, and possibly he is, causing issues between him and your wide receiver one. Like, who are you going to choose? Your young wide receiver that you drafted that could be your future, or this guy that you only have for one more year? It's a tough spot. I would personally pick the wide receiver one, but I just think that they only owe him. Let me check. They only owe him $2.5 million, and then next season, 2026, he's a free agent. I think they're honestly probably going to roll with them. I mean, because I don't know what they're. I think they draft too far back to get one of the quarterbacks, top two quarterbacks. So I don't know what free agent would they sign, still owing him 2.5. I don't know.
But here's the thing, though, with that Jets organization, it's been a mess from the start. Let's be real. They have not been. Think about it. They haven't been right since Rex Ryan left, and after Rex Ryan left, they've been on a downhill slope. But let's look at that. Let's look at the intangibles.
Downhill slope since the butt fumble.
Yep. Let's be real on this, folks. Aaron Rodgers got an offensive coordinator fired, got a head coach fired. Think about this.
Right.
2 head coaches fired. So who do you think is the problem at this point?
There you go.
And
who do you think is the problem at this point?
Don't forget he held a franchise at ransom for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Thank you. And now that franchise is still going to the playoffs even without him.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
another thing I feel like a lot of people don't know is that Aaron Rodgers has no contact with his direct family. His parents, his brothers. I believe he has two brothers. The family honestly has lost contact with him. The way I know this is because I actually watched his brother was on a reality love show a few years ago, and he mentioned how Aaron, like none of the family, all his family keep in contact with each other besides Aaron. So that should tell you all you need to know about him. Obviously,
I'm
if
just
you have
saying.
problems with your family doesn't keep in contact with you because how you treat them or what have you. Then also you can't get along with players, coaching staff, all that. You think it's everybody else? No, the problem's probably you. You're the common denominator.
You're right.
Well, as
Right.
old people say, when if you're a jerk before you get money, you're gonna be a jerk when you have it. It's just gonna be
Oh,
more
no,
exposed.
right.
Old
Yeah,
people
that's
say that
true.
all the time, man.
It's gonna be more arrogant. It's more ego into it now. Because
Yeah.
now I'm a jerk with money.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
I think what's sad is there's another movie reference. Don't get high off your own supply. Look it.
And don't do it.
Scarface.
Don't do it, baby.
Cannot believe you can't believe the hype about yourself, right? So guys, we all do
Mm-mm.
this when we come on and we do this podcast. Yes, we are ourselves, but to a certain extent we are personalities because I can't come on here and be like, hey, like I'm talking to my wife. Hey, Kim, did we? You know what I mean? You have to have energy. So to a certain extent, you are yourself, but you are also a personality. But guess what? When I get off this podcast, I can't go there to my wife and be like, hey, Kim, I'm not going to take the trash out because I'm T. Will, and you know. I've got a whole 169 subscribers, and I'm just, for one, because I got to watch out for that right hook, and for two, that right hook hurts. Okay, it really hurts. No, I'm kidding, Kim. But
I
you
was about
can't.
to say, you better be nice to Miss
She gon'
Danielle.
hey
Don't
T Will. She ain't gonna hit you with that right. She gonna hit you with that left hook. She gonna hit you upside the head with that left hook. Make your ass get up and take out that damn trash,
uh-huh.
just like pops.
It's
Uh-huh.
funny. So she called me last night because she was downstairs with my two nieces. She was like, "Yeah, the trash needs to go out." I was like, "I'm gonna take it." So I think I came down like 2 hours later or whatever because it's cold outside. I put my coat on or whatever, and my nephew had taken it out. But I laugh when you say that. But the point is, guys, you have to be able to separate who you are on the field from who you are in real life, right? I think
Yep.
Aaron somewhere in his head is like, I've got a Super Bowl and I did it, and you really believe it, as opposed to look. Number two things. One, Father Time is undefeated, bro. Father Time is undefeated. Okay,
Mm.
again to quote another movie from Rocky Six. As you get older, some things are just taken away you know.
Yep.
And I really believe Aaron Rodgers in his head is still prime Aaron Rodgers, and he's also a jerk. But anyway, I didn't mean to spend that much time on him, guys. Let's talk about our Falcons. We have our defensive coordinator in house. Feel how you want to feel about it. We've all had time to digest it. I'm okay with it. At least Ulbrich does have defensive coordinator experience. Was he my top candidate? No. Was he my second candidate? No. But he's here now. He does have defensive coordinator experience. He did work with Robert Saleh for a couple of years. The Jets did have one of the best defense in the league last year. And look, Raheem is a collaborator, so I think they can work together and come up with a decent defense. This defense doesn't have to be number 5, by the way, because that offense that you have is something special. I'd like to hear from the panel just best case scenario and worst case scenario. Give me 2 paths for this Raheem and Ulbricht marriage. And Miss Carrie, we'll start with you.
Okay. So, you mean as far as like how it will go, the
Yeah,
Ulbrich and
yeah,
Raheem, like
yeah. What
best
what, what
case?
could happen? Yeah.
I mean, what could happen is that Ulbrich, Raheem focuses solely on being a head coach, doesn't have to worry about calling plays or helping out with the defensive play calling. Now that he has Ulbrich, I think that's what he was hoping to get with Jimmy Lake gave him his chance with his friend, didn't work out. So I think that's why he went with Ulbrich, because yeah, he's comfortable with him. Yeah, he's a relationship guy, but he also hopes that with his experience, like you mentioned, he won't have to worry about it. He's just going to be the guy overseeing everything. So I think best case scenario is that is what happens. Ulbrich can handle his job on his own as the defensive coordinator of the Falcons, and Raheem can focus on the head coach and maybe better manage the team as far as injuries, putting players on IR, calling timeouts when they're needed, getting some kind of coaching as far as public
Interviews.
speak. I don't know. Yes, interviews, like how you speak. Don't upset the fan base, saying they're living in the past and how they feel doesn't matter. Woe is me, because they're disappointed with how the season played out, and why should they believe in you? Maybe that's how he truly felt with that interview, but you can't say something like that if you want to have the fans on your side, especially with how the season ended. So for me, you need to, especially when you're in a position of power, you almost have to learn how to speak almost like a politician in that way. Not saying I want him to be a politician, but you get what I mean. You got to say what, even if that's how you felt, that's not what he should have said. Okay, he should have had a better prepared answer in that regard. But all that to say, I'm just hoping best case scenario for me is that Raheem, fixes mistakes that he made his first year back with the Falcons, and Ulbrich does a good job in his role. And obviously, we win the division. I have the same expectations I did this past off season. Like going into this 2024 to 25 season. I think we win the division, we make the playoffs, and I know a lot of people said, well, why be a first round exit? If that's what the team would have been. I don't care. This team has not been to the playoffs since what, 2017? No, 2016, winning record last 2017, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, we went to the playoffs.
The last
2017.
playoff we went to was
That's when we lost to the
2017.
Eagles.
2017. So I don't.
Remember we lost to the Eagles back-to-back passes to Julio, and we couldn't get it.
Okay, so 2017, my bad. Yeah, so for me, I don't care. Any step forward is positive for me. I'm not, obviously I want the Falcons to win Super Bowl, but as being realistic, I'm not expecting like, oh yeah, Super Bowl, like you got to make positive strides in the right direction. It's like building blocks, so you can't just jump from way down here, losing seasons since 2017, and just jump all the way to Super Bowl. I mean, I guess it could happen, but it's not realistic. Okay,
so it doesn't happen often. Or teams can turn around like that.
Right. So for me, even when we knew we were out of the playoffs, that final game against Carolina, I was like, okay, just finish the season with a winning record. Just finish the season with a win at home. Give the fans something to be happy about, something to be positive about. Okay, we finally have a winning season again, because we've just been, stagnant. We've just been with this losing record. So only winning 7 or 8 games. I think 2021 was like 4 games. So it's been rough out here. So for me, my expectation is you win the division, you have a winning record, and as we know, the playoffs, it's a clean slate. Whatever happens, happens. You restart. So we could go further than just the first round, but hey, like just make it there at this point. So that's where I'm at.
Man, that defense checked out after they looked at their scoreboard. It was no way they was going to sit there and keep playing, Kerry.
Right. No, you're right.
We couldn't even get after the quarterback, and then as soon as we did, it was like Bryce was putting the ball right where we left from.
And then Tampa wins that game, and if you looked at it at their coin toss, all them boys looked up and they just shook their heads, and we knew it was over with. They weren't going to put themselves in harm's way. They was getting ready for Cancun.
Right. So, and do you want to just start with? I kind of went on for a long time, so I don't know. You want me to say worst case, or we'll do worst cases after everybody says their best case?
We can do worst case.
Okay, worst case.
You got John from Out of Your Falcon Mind. What's
going
on, John?
What's good, John?
How you doing, man?
What's up,
John? Good to
John,
see you.
John, know he want to hop on the podcast. I don't know why he's sitting there tripping.
I know.
Look, I've been trying to get him for the last couple of times. I've been trying to get him, you know what I mean? But he's always in meetings and stuff and working. But we're just
right,
John, We're just happy to see it.
Getting John is like trying to like steal a gold bar out of Fort Knox. You ain't doing it. He was supposed to do a show with me months ago.
I know John. He definitely got busy. Shout out to Liam, man. I know he's doing
Yes,
his
sir.
thing.
Yes,
And
baseball.
one of these days, man, Liam may be one of the pitchers for the Atlanta Braves one
He
day. You
might
never
be.
know.
I
He
love
might
it.
be. He might be. Yeah, but John spends a lot of time with
Yep.
his son playing baseball and coach. I mean, and basically just being a great dad. You know what I mean? Look,
Yeah.
if your kid's gonna get anywhere in any sport, you got to be there. And I'm not
Right.
talking about just going to games. I'm talking about practices. I'm talking about camps. I'm talking about travel ball. All sorts of stuff. So I get it.
Man,
I get it.
you
I mean,
talking to John?
yeah,
Right. That's literally
You
John.
talking to John?
I get it.
Man, there'll be times when me and John on talking. He was like, "Bro, I got to do this." He said, "Liam got that." Then next thing you know, we got to go to this travel thing, and then we got to go over there. And I was just
Oh,
like, "Well, John, I tell
wow.
you what, bro, get you some coffee."
Hey,
Right.
bro, it's a lot. Look, my son played basketball, okay? And between getting my trainer and playing rec ball and playing high school and traveling in the summer, like, I mean, it's a lot, bro. It's so I get it. You know, my son's, out of high school now, but I mean, it's a lot. So, hey, John, you continue to be a good dad, sir. Do what you got to do, man. And hey, we're looking for Liam in the next couple of years, and hey, hopefully he will be an Atlanta Brave and help us win a World Series, man.
Love
Hopefully
it.
the third in the
Liam play for the Atlanta Braves. John wouldn't know what to do with himself. Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real. He wouldn't know what to do with himself. He wouldn't know what to do. I tell you one thing, he gonna be at every game though.
I hear that,
Yeah.
man. I
Season
hear that.
tickets.
I hear that.
Season tickets, baby.
I hear that. All right, so Ryan. Oh wait, Carrie, we got to wait on the alternate path or
Oh,
the less positive path. Just give me
right.
your thoughts on
I
give me your
wish I would.
thoughts on the cons of hiring Jeff Ulbricht.
Oh, I wish I would have started with the negatives first. I don't want to end on a negative
Uh-oh.
note, but I know. No, it's not that bad. I'll keep it short, but you already know how I feel about the hire. He wasn't my first choice or my second choice like UT will, but I'm more in the acceptance stage at this point because I
Yep.
can't change anything.
Yep.
So at this point, Raheem, I mean, you made your decision. You made your bed. You got to lay in it. I really hope this is it. This is the hire and this is the guy, for the Falcons. I think we've had four different defensive coordinators in our last 5 seasons. I'm just over that. For me, I think there's a lot of reasons why the Falcons have not been successful, right? Like, poor quarterback play in recent years. But I think a lot of it has to do the lack of stability in key positions, like the quarterback, like the coordinators, like the head coach. So for me, I really hope this works out because for me, I just really want stability. We have turnover and we're constantly changing schemes. I just want stability. So for me, that's a negative. If this is just a one and done hire, that's really unfortunate because I think if this does not work out, Raheem is out of here. I don't think I personally, I don't know that he's going to get 3 years like Arthur Smith did, even though I know I originally said that he would get as long or longer because I believe he signed a 5 or 6 year contract, but I originally thought that he'd get just as long or longer because he has that previous relationship with Arthur Blank. But at this point, I don't know that he's going to get that because I think Terry Fontenot is on the hot seat. And I think Raheem is on the warm seat. So I think this is a win the division or bust because I think they really thought with how all the talk, that they were doing between Terry and Raheem in the off season and press conferences, they were talking without the walking, leading, in the division with the outrun the South and all the, catchphrases they had to give the fans. I just feel like they really were confident they were going to win this division. So for me, yeah, you have to do it's playoffs and win the division or bust for me. Or they're probably out of here. Yeah, they're probably out of here. Honestly, that's what's
Shut
gonna
up.
happen.
All right. Ryan, Chris, doesn't matter. Whoever wants to
Oh,
go. Give me your thoughts. Both two divergent paths, right? So positive and or negative, pros and cons, however you want to do it.
Uh,
Chris, what you got? Or Ryan?
okay, well, I'm gonna start with the negative first because I'm a bad news guy first anyway. Yeah, man, I'm always gonna want the bad news first. But so bad news. I feel like I feel like you kind of settled. I feel like you kind of settled for what was comfortable, what was familiar. Just like saying me and Smithy talked about yesterday. Raheem Morris has been sticking to the familiarity guns since he's came in here. And this hire is no different. Somebody that he's familiar with. He doesn't necessarily know Wink Martindale, even though I would love to have him. He doesn't necessarily know Steve Wilkes,
Mhm.
but he knows Jeff Obert. But my thing is, I just feel like that's almost to the equivalent of a man talking to, or just a person. I ain't even gonna say, I ain't gonna just put it on a gender. A person talking to four different people, and they really like the other three, but something goes wrong with those three, and you got to settle for the fourth option, who just so happened to be your ex. You tried to move on, it didn't work out, so now you kind of got to fall back into being comfortable with something that you were previously used to, hoping that they've changed, hoping that they've grown, and hoping that they're ready to show you that they are better than what they once was.
Right.
I just feel like that's not a good hill to be on. And then, also, as far as like a good thing though, or what Ulbrich, all he has to do is to come in and be much better than Jimmy Lake. We're not asking him to be to make turn us into a top five defense, even though we would all love that.
Right.
But when we went to the Super Bowl in 2016, we didn't have a stellar defense. We had an offense that could put up points and outscore you. So, and the defensively wise, that year 2015 and 2016, if you look at those numbers on defense and then you look at our defense this year, Jimmy had some bad schemes, but off rank wise, we were still higher than what we were, especially the Super Bowl year.
Yeah.
So there are some positives that you can try to carve out, but it just wasn't a sexy hire. um you're giving another guy an opportunity to right his wrongs, to possibly prove that he could be better, possibly prove that it wasn't just all on Robert Saleh. And so he do have that proving ground. I'm just hoping that it all works out, because to Kerry's point, what I feel like, because I'm still waiting to see what this extension is going to be like for Terry Fontenot. I'm still waiting on that. So I'm interested to see how long Terry gets. And I'm really, because I'm thinking if all this doesn't work out, everybody is getting escorted out the door together. Ra, Terry, Jeff, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like depending on how long it is, if they give them 2 seasons to get it right and it doesn't work out, at the end of the day, everybody's walking out the door together.
I agree.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
That's why I'm so interested to really see what is Terry Fontenot's deal going to be. How long is it going to be? I'm waiting on it.
Yeah.
If it's 1 year, then that lets me know something. If it's 2 or 3 years, that also lets me know something.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see that. It all's really going to come down for me on how long does Terry Fontenot get an extension. Because I feel like, again, if it doesn't work out, everybody's going at one time.
Yeah. I definitely think Terry Fontenot and Raheem are going to be tethered to each other at some point. So I would agree. I'd also agree that Ulbrich was kind of the safe hire. It's kind of like,
Absolutely.
if you're in high school and this girl likes you and she's okay, she's attractive, but you really want this other girl over here, but you
Oh
don't know.
wow.
Hey, I'm not talking about me, okay? I'm not
No,
talking
it's
about me.
oh okay.
This is what I've
Thank
heard.
you.
This is what I've heard. Okay.
Thank you for
But
specifying.
so you really like this other girl over here, but you don't. She might have five guys asking her, so you go with the safe choice, right? Because
That's what I was saying.
you don't want to be embarrassed in front of your boys and be like so said no. So that to me is the Ulbrich hire, right? It's like, okay, I know him. I'm cool with him. Okay,
Right.
we're probably gonna be able to make something. That's what it was to me. Give me your positive scenario, Chris?
Positive on the scenario is, like I said, he got to come in and be better than Jimmy Lake. I don't think that's a tall task, to be honest. He's going to come in. When he was here in his time, he liked to have his hands on the linebackers. I feel like we have Caden Ellis, so we do have something. We do have him we can build off of. But what about Nate Landman? Will he be here? What about Troy Anderson? Will we keep him? I said, like, can he get the best out of those guys if we decide to keep them? The linebacking core, I expect us to go out and either sign some and bring some in, possibly a Javon Kinlaw, somebody who was healthy last year, somebody that Falcon fans wanted, but the 49ers took him before it got to us. So he played with Ulbrich last year. I know Pat McKinley was over there, but I'm hoping he doesn't show up in Atlanta again. I'm just being honest, man.
Guys, no, Chris, I might crash. I know I've said this a lot lately, but I might crash out if all of a sudden the Falcons announce Tack McKinley has been added to the
Oh my
53-man roster,
God.
practice squad, whatever.
I'm
sorry,
not gonna
I
be
might
happy
crash
about a
out.
move like that at all.
I don't know. How will you feel about that, Ryan, if you see that announcement?
I'm waiting till I get my turn. I'm gonna let y'all say everything y'all got because when I start, I ain't stopping. So y'all go ahead. Just letting y'all know that now.
Brian sound like that old Young Buck song. I'm not stopping. You heard what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That's why I
Nah,
said
for real.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, it's hard. It's really hard to find the positives. I've been searching in my Google trying to find positives on the Ulbrich. And my thing is, he's not trash, guys. I'll never say that a coordinator in the NFL is trash. Because let me tell you something, I can't go to the NFL and be a coordinator. Y'all gonna be wanting me out on the first week, okay? Why in the world, Chris? Man, I can see it now. A1 out there getting too cute on defense. So I'm just saying, bro, I'm never gonna do that. But at the same time, though, man, it's just not. We've already been here before, and you're just hoping that it works out. You're just hoping that it works out because we've already had too many science projects that have not worked out already in Atlanta. And I still feel like we're trying more, and we're trying more, and now we got a similar formula. We just changed up a few ingredients and trying to see if we can make that work. And it's not a lot of positives in it, but
Real
Ulbrich
quick,
is not trash. Ulbrich, hopefully he'll come in and do better than Jimmy Lake. That's where I'm gonna land my plane.
real quick, Chris, before Ryan goes, I just want to say to your point is like, I feel like we're doing a lot of the same thing and hoping for different results,
Yeah,
I'm not going to
yeah,
say insanity. I know I did say that previously. I mean, maybe it is, but I'm just saying, like, it's like you said, I think T-Will said, it's like you're going with what's comfortable.
yeah.
And what has that gotten us? I'm not trying to be negative, but like that's why I really wanted something different, a new perspective, a fresh perspective, somebody not in your coaching tree, somebody you don't have a personal relationship with. Because it's like, we need something new. What we've had has not worked, respectfully. So,
And comfort can kill.
right. You need to get out of your comfort zone. A lot of times
Hmm.
to be successful, you got to do things that are not comfortable.
Well, y'all getting ready to do something that's comfortable, and that's giving me the flow. Y'all done
Yeah,
had y'all time. It's
Go
time for
ahead,
me to
Ryan.
jump up in it. And I'm
go
gonna
ahead,
show you how serious I am.
go ahead.
I'm gonna come on the camera looking like Darth Vader today. So it is what it is.
Love it.
So I'm gonna say this. On the positive side, here's the thing that I can see Jeff Ulbrich doing. You move Troy Anderson down to the edge. I've been saying this forever. You let
Yeah,
Troy Anderson play on the edge. You let him literally use his athletic ability to contain the outside because truthfully, that linebacker spot, he has to think too much. You don't want a guy with that type of skill set. And also, he's a football player. The man can play offense or defense. Or I give you this. We've been sitting here talking about this offense. Did anybody ever think about putting him at fullback? He was a running back in college. He was a quarterback in college. He learned how to play linebacker his senior year. This guy was originally a running back. Put him in the fullback spot. Use him to block for your Bijan Robinson. Use him to block if you're not going to use him on defense because he's a skilled guy. He's a Swiss Army knife. Now, I'll say this. The linebackers are going to have somebody who's going to teach them how to play the pass, how to be able to scrape, get downhill, fill holes, do a lot of things, and you're going to see more fundamentals when it comes to this defense, when it comes to tackling, because we were piss poor. He's going to bring that here. Also, we're going to run a lot more 4-3 with him on this defense. Or if we run a 3-4, just know that we're going to get it. Just know, I'm going to say this. If we run a 3-4, be prepared for us to get a defensive tackle, whether that's Javon Kinlaw or us draft. The draft is going to tell you pretty much everything you need to know on what direction this team is going to go in under this with this defense, because this is a defensive laden draft, heavy defense, by the way.
So heavy in defense.
Now, as for the secondary, with the way his corners are, they play a lot of bump and run. He doesn't like to play a lot of zone with his guys. He can play zone, but he brings to the table at least a little bit more fluidity on the defense. I will give him that. Now, to the dark side. I'm gonna tell you just like this. I don't have my Razor Ramon background, so I can't be the bad guy like that. So I got to go to the dark side. Now, as for this, I had to pull the hoodie down. I want you to see this. As for this side of things, this is the same idiot that told the franchise to draft Takk McKinley. This is the same idiot. Yes, Jeff Ulbrich, you are responsible for Takk McKinley being in Atlanta.
Oh man,
you coached him.
Threw up in my mouth a little.
You coached him. Outside of you coaching him, you told Dan Quinn that this was going to be the best edge rusher at that time. Now I'm gonna give you this. He was a flat out bust. Flat out bust. He's a journeyman at this point. If you bring Javon Kinlaw in here, if you even bring Isaiah Oliver back, I'm okay with Oliver as long as he's playing safety, not corner. He's a better safety than he is a corner. I said that a long time ago. If you bring either one of those guys in, you're starting off on the right track with me because you're looking to fill needs of this defense. Now, negatively, Raheem Morris took this hire because it was the safe hire. He didn't want to take a chance elsewhere. But here's my thing. Right. He shouldn't have took a chance on his homeboy in the first place at all. He shouldn't have took a chance on this. I'm not even gonna call him his own. We gonna call him like we call him up in Atlanta. He shouldn't have took Buddy or whatever and gave Buddy a job. That's how disgusted I'm still with Jim Clay. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. Raheem Morris, truthfully, shouldn't even been the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. I stand on that. Y'all can say what you want, but if you go, and my thing is this: if you wanted to bring some respectability to this franchise, you should have hired Lovie Smith. You should have hired a guy that had a winning record, that turned around the franchise. Let's keep it a buck. That Houston, Texas franchise you see that D'Amico Ryans is winning with, those pieces were brought together by Lovie Smith. They fired Lovie. They fired. This man went to a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman at quarterback. Rex freaking Grossman with that defense. And he had Matt Forte in the backfield. Now, if we're going to sit here and look at it, Raheem Morris, your ass got to be on the hot seat because guess what? You shot your blank. You shot one blank with Jimmy Lake. Now you shot another one bringing in Jeff Ulbrich. Raheem wasn't my first choice. I got the rock with because he got the low. Now, all I'm going to say is this. In this situation, you got your defensive coordinator. Your offensive coordinator definitely did produce. I will give him that. He produced this year. But I want you to see this here. I got the finger pointed at him. You are responsible for blowing the division lead. You are responsible for costing us a playoff opportunity due to the fact of you pissed away timeouts and everything else because of your ego. Terry Fontenot, I'm putting the left hand out for you for this one, Terry. You are responsible for bringing this clown into Atlanta because you had a feel-good vibe. You are responsible. The first 3 years, we all know that it was Rich McKay. Rich McKay is not going anywhere because of the fact that he's probably going to be the next NFL commissioner, and he's on the play and he's on the competition. Just to be honest, he ain't going nowhere. But to be honest, you were responsible for bringing this trash into Atlanta. I'm not all about the rah-rah. I'm going to tell you this here. The problem with us Atlanta fans is this. Y'all all want to be entertained with splash plays, people making you feel good with quotes like Dion used to. But I'm going to tell you this here. I'm satisfied and I'm entertained with winning. I don't care about the splash play. I don't care about him having highlights. I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, Bijan got 1,200 yards, a little over 1,200 yards. Guess what? I don't give a damn about that. And that's him rushing. My thing is production. That rushing does not get us into the playoffs. It looks good for stats, but guess what? We can't control the line of scrimmage. I'm still going to say it to this day. We have a dynamic player in him, but guess what? You can't win ball games if you can't control the line of scrimmage. I'm still say that to this day. The reason the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders are in the NFC Championship game and the other teams are in the playoffs, they control the line of scrimmage. Until you figure out, Terry Fontenot, to draft the proper players and fill needs and not try to put asses in seats, you will never win as a general manager. You will never win. And I'm going to bring race into it, and I don't care. I'm sorry if I offend people, Carrie. I apologize if I offend you, but it's just what it is.
No, it's all good.
And I'm going to take the hoodie off for this one because it's personal for me. Being a historian of the game, loving this game, and understanding the merits of people that came into this, let's be honest, man. You're standing on the shoulders of Bill Nunn, Lloyd Wells, Terry Fontenot. You're standing on those shoulders of some of those legendary legendary scouts and general managers who decided to understand how to go get talent. You need to go look at the blueprints of that. The greatest draft of all time will be that 1974 draft by the Steelers by Hall of Famer Bill Nunn. You need to go study that. You need to study how to go get talent. You need to study how to scout players. But you, Raheem Morris, you stand on the shoulders of a Fritz Pollard, of an Art Shell, of so many coaches that didn't get the opportunities, of a Dennis Green and a Tony Dungy. You stand on these shoulders. You tap dancing and you smiling. I'm not going to say the word that I want to, but you tap dancing and you smiling right now. And you really are not taking this serious. You got to understand, most of the guys that had opportunities before you didn't get the second chance like you got. You need to be grateful for this opportunity. Take it serious and win when it counts. Answer questions and take accountability in your press conferences. Do better. That's all I got, man.
Well, we appreciate you, sir. We definitely do. Definitely appreciate that. Jesus, how do you follow that? You know what? You don't. So
he said, you know what you don't.
Mic drop. He did not shoot blanks with that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean that was the whole point I was gonna say too. I was like, hey, Raheem better hope he didn't shoot 2 blanks back to back. He better hope he didn't do that. But we gonna see.
Hey,
we definitely gonna see, man.
If they end up leaving, you might as well go ahead and pop on some old Gladys Knight and the Pips, the Midnight Train to Georgia. The Midnight Train will be leaving Georgia with them two. Just saying.
Well, hey,
you're not wrong.
That's why I said, bro, it gotta work. I said this last year when we took Kirk Cousins and then took Michael Penix and everything. I was just like, it gotta work. And it did not work. So I'm gonna say again,
A1.
It'll work.
Hey,
what's up, bro?
A1, I got a song for y'all. You remember? Look, T. Will. I'm gonna go old school. This is when you had an afro back in the day as a young pup running around Atlanta back in the day, drinking the Coca-Cola or the peach sodas back in the day. I'm gonna go back for you, T. Will. We gotta go back. If Raheem and Terry don't get it done this year, they're gonna be literally giving hugs and slapping hands, singing that Gladys Knight. Neither one of us wants to say goodbye. That's what it's gonna be. Neither one of them gonna say goodbye. That's where I'm at with it.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Hey, because guess what? If they don't get it done, they gonna be definitely singing that song, "Leaving Georgia." That's all I'm gonna say.
There you go.
Oh wow!
And why we're hey man, again, it's all about the logo at the end of the day, man. If you don't produce for us, it's gonna be time to go ahead and get you about the city, man. It doesn't matter. My thing is, if we're talking about Raheem the person, like just going out and just chopping it up with him, you know what I'm saying? You would
Good
love to
guy.
have conversations with Raheem. But that's not what it's about, liking a guy. It's about the results on the field, the results in the locker room, the results in the press conferences, the results, you know, so that we get on the field. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have that, you know, so it doesn't matter how likable you
Hey,
are.
Chris, your
It's a
mic's
matter.
kind of choppy.
So it doesn't matter how much, you know, so you know, so that you're likable. If you don't get results, those catchphrases, those smiles, they wear off really, really fast.
To your point, when what
Preach.
and to Ryan's point as well, talking about hiring a coach with a winning record, when was the last time the Atlanta Falcons hired a head coach with a winning record? I can't tell you. Could somebody help
Dan
me out, Paul?
Reeves. Dan
Wow.
Reeves.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There you
And
have it.
then before him,
God
Jerry
rest his soul.
Glanville. It was
Okay.
Jerry Glanville and Dan Reeves. Those are the two coaches that had winning records.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Nobody
That's
in
it.
Atlanta has ever, let's be real, nobody that has ever coached in Atlanta has had a winning record except those two coaches. And that's in the 60 something, that's almost in the 60 something year history of this team.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
It's a reality we have to
They
deal
had,
with.
I'm gonna give you this. Atlanta had a chance, and T Will, if you know some old heads like I do, Atlanta had a chance to get Don Shula fresh out of the Baltimore Colts. Literally had a chance to get him. But because of the fact that the Rankin brothers were so cheap or whatnot, the Smith brothers were so cheap, they didn't want to give him the position because he said, I want to be your head coach, but I'm also going to be the general manager because I'm going to draft players that are going to get us a winning culture. Guess what? They said no. He goes to Miami and the rest is history. So how do you think we look with that? We actually could have had Bill Walsh.
So guys, that's
We
T
could have
Will
had
with
Bill
an afro.
Walsh.
That's T Will with an afro. You mentioned
I
that's
see
on
you
for
got that.
Oh wow, I love
that's
I
it.
me
see
and
you
my
got
dad.
that fresh
Butterfly
afro
collar.
sheen in that picture.
You
No,
see the butterfly collar? That's
yeah, I noticed, man. I noticed. Say it
Hold
got
on,
them
did
got
y'all
them
wait a minute,
froze up, baby.
Did y'all use the Niagara starch to press them butterfly collars?
hey, yeah, we did, buddy. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. Yeah, we did.
Hey, one, I bet money they had the creases too.
Oh, you better believe that them pants were creased with the extra starch. Stop playing.
Yep, that's me and Dad. Oh man, I miss you, Dad. That's me and Dad. All right, so just having a little fun. Just having a little fun. And look at Ladarius. T Will with hair. My morning has changed completely. That's right, Ladarius. I told you I had an afro, man. I told you I had a big ass
Ladarius said, "I
afro.
did not believe it, and I still don't."
Nobody believed it. Nobody
Hey,
believed
And
me.
Ladarius still don't.
T Will, did you have a
Nobody
regular box?
believed me.
T Will, did you have a regular box fade when you was in your New Jack Swing days, or did you
I
have the S
did.
curl
I
box
did.
fade
I
like me?
did. Don't make me find it. Don't make me find it. I did.
Don't tell
But
me you had the S curl box fade like me.
yes, I did. I had them both. Yes, I did. I had them both. I went through stages, brother. Yes, I did. And Michael, yes, I did rock the bell bottom pants. Yes, I did.
By the
Yeah.
way, Kerry, I don't know what's going on right now.
We're going through T Will's phases of
I
style.
love it.
That's
I
all
love
we
it.
doing right now.
Hey, when you said back to T Will having an afro, I was like, let me see if I can find that picture. No, but
Hey T Will, we done
No,
went
that's
through
dope stuff.
T Will, you
That's
done went
dope.
through 4 or 5 dress code changes from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and these damn Falcons still can't win nothing.
I know.
Damn.
Billy Mills
But
said,
I
"Who is that?
believe
Tito?"
you did not call me Tito Millie Mills. I know you did not, sir.
Millie,
Okay.
Millie Mills
Anything,
chose violence
if
at 10 a.m. in the
anything,
morning. That's crazy.
if anything, I'm Randy, okay? But I'm not Tito, okay? All right, whatever. I'm not Tito. And
Man,
no,
Millie
you look
Mills
more
hit
like one of the
early, bro. My
you don't look
goodness.
like one of the Jacksons. You look like one of the Silvers kids. That's who you look like. You remember them?
My goodness.
Man.
I'm
Man,
talking about start.
Silverback,
I'm talking
man.
about Kool-Aid. Just said the starch out the box. God dang.
Oh wow.
Well, you got, hey,
I'm
you got to
growing
remember,
old, bro.
you got to
I
remember,
feel like I'm too young
Kool
for this
Aid.
conversation now.
Hey, one, you got to remember, Kool Aid was around there, pop locking back in the day like rerun too. So don't think about it,
Man,
dog. He
listen.
around that
I
age
think I
too.
seen. I think I seen Kool-Aid in the first Breaking movie.
Hey,
When he
Remember
talked
John?
about out there with a
Hey,
boogaloo shrimp, turbo,
remember that picture that John Harris had or whatever? He was looking like a
bro.
Southern militant or
Oh
whatnot with
my
that
goodness.
afro and them shades.
John looked like he had the longest Cadillac back in the day. Like, boy,
John actually had a Lincoln Continental back in the day. He had a
that's what
Lincoln.
I
That's
meant.
what he
That's what
had,
I meant.
stinking Lincoln.
That's what I meant. Them doggone
Oh
Lincoln.
man. See, well, we went from sports to really talk about the
we
fashion,
did,
and we done
man.
went off the rails. Dang.
We did. We gotta bring it back. But hey, man, it's all in the name of good fun. Guys, probably gonna have to bring this show to a close. I thank everyone in the chat who joined us. I look it. You could have done anything in the world today. You chose to be with us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your fellowship. And hey, thank you for just being willing to talk Falcons, Afros, movie quotes, Braves, whatever. We appreciate you guys rolling with it. And hey, if you enjoy the show, please, please come back, like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to give you guys all a chance to tell these folks where they can find you. But I got to do a shameless plug first. You can find me at the number 4, my ATL Sports, the number 1 on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. We try to come to you every morning, Monday through Friday. I didn't do it Wednesday the other day because, guys, I just didn't feel well. But again, we typically come to you in some form or fashion every day, Monday through Friday, in the mornings, whether it's 10 a.m., 8 a.m., what have you. But please join us. We are trying to grow the channel and grow this experience with you. We love our Falcons. We love our Braves. We love our Hawks. And we just want to talk Atlanta sports with you. So again, if you would like, share, and subscribe to For My ATL Sports 1.com, or just click the link below and like, share, and subscribe. It does help the algorithm, and it helps us to bring you this great content. So thank you very much. Atlanta Kool-Aid Drinker says John Travolta. Hey, man, I love me some John Travolta back in the day. Now, I know y'all are probably too young to remember this, but John Travolta
Was.
was that dude in Saturday Night Fever, okay? John Travolta was that dude. He was that dude in Saturday Night Fever. Wait, was it Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday Night Fever. Great movie if you haven't seen it. It's all 70s, right? So if you don't like disco, it's probably not for you, but great movie. Michael says the Sweat Hogs. Oh man, wait, how that? Welcome back. Yeah, welcome back, Carter. No, wait. Yeah, that was Sweat
Yeah.
Hogs. Welcome back, Carter.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Welcome
Welcome
back.
back. Yep. So hey guys, tell these folks where they can find you. Ryan, if you would, tell these folks where they can find you and give you shout outs.
Hey man, this is your boy the historian out of the Birdcage LLC. Got the magnificent Birdcage crew that joins me every Thursday at 8 p.m. We have some interviews coming up for the off season, but during the season we have post game show, pre game show, and also, like I said, every Thursday 8 p.m. And then we have our pop up shows or whatnot. So check us out this off season. We got a good one coming up with Hall of Fame basketball player Bobby Dandridge in a couple of weeks. I have the advertisement going out for that pretty soon. And former Atlanta Hawks, Mr. Wally Jones, will be joining us as well. So check us out, 8 p.m. Thursday. You either get right or you get left. Thank you, my brother T. Will, A1, Miss Carrie. I'll catch you guys later. Thank y'all for having me on. And I dropped the link in the chat.
Bye,
All
Ryan.
right,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you. Thank you so much, Miss Carrie. Tell these folks where they can find you.
You can find me sometimes now, on For My ATL Sports 1, sometimes on the Beer Gang. I've been doing a lot of pop-ups in 2025.
Yes,
I've
you
been making
have,
some, I've been
and we
trying to,
love it. We
yeah, I've been,
love it.
thank you. Me too. It's a pleasure to work with you guys, talk Falcons with you. I've been popping up and trying to make as many appearances this year as possible, trying to be better about that. Obviously, you could catch me on One Time for the Fan. This week we've kind of haven't been able to do a show, unfortunately, but I think we might possibly do a Friday night show. So There might be One Time for the Fan show instead of breakfast for One Time for the Fan. We might have like a late night, I
Dinner,
don't know, late night dinner
dinner
or
with One
cocktail
Time for the
hour or
Fan
something
or
going
something.
on.
Right.
Yes, so you could catch me on there, talking Falcons as well as Twitter. My @ is Carrie Lynn XOX on Twitter. Shout out to Ryan, shout out to Chris, T. Will. Thank you everyone in the chat for your support. Please hit the like button on the channel for T. Will. Support his show. He's really trying to grow the channel, so I hope you can support him because he really deserves it. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Miss Carrie. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Brother Chris, where can they find you? Yeah, right. Like they don't already know where to find you, Ryan and Carrie. Anyway, Chris, tell these folks where they can find you.
Hey man, you can find me at Atlanta. I was about to say Atlanta Sports. A1 Forever Sports. So that's the platform on YouTube. Please come over, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, you can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at A1 Forever. Also, you can catch me over at the Hawks Digest, man, for Digest Media covering everything Atlanta Hawks. Dropped a video last night recapping the the disaster that struck the Atlanta Hawks last night, losing to the Toronto Raptors, a team that won only one road win this year, but they
Oh
got
wow.
two now. Yeah, but they got two now because they beat Atlanta at home last night. And also Jalen Johnson left the game again with yet another shoulder injury. This time it's his left shoulder. So, like I said, disaster just struck for Atlanta last night, but they still showed fight, but just was unable to get it done at the end. Lost by 3, 122 to 119. So, yeah, you guys can go over and check me out on Hawks Digest as well. And you never know, you may just see me pop up at, man, maybe on T-Will, maybe on One Time for the Fan. The 95 North is still going as well. Me and Smitty dropped the video yesterday as well. So, man, just continue just to check us out. Continue, we're going to be out there putting out different content all season long for the Falcons. The Braves are about to kick up, so so get ready for the Braves season. Going to be covering Braves games as well. And of course, it's in the Atlanta Hawks and, covering the second half of the season with Hawks Digest. So, man, it's going to be a very eventful 2025. I'm looking forward to it. And thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you for everybody on the panel. So let's go ahead and keep growing, guys.
Real quick, T-Will, can I say to everyone in the chat, please go subscribe to the Hawks Digest. All you have to type is real simple, Hawks Digest on YouTube, and you can find it. I recently subscribed. So far, I only got to catch one of Chris's videos on there on the Hawks, but honestly, I'm a Hawks casual. I support the Hawks, but I'm not like a diehard like I am Falcons, but I do support the Hawks, and I still watch the videos, so Chris puts out some good content on there, real funny, real enjoyable content. I mean, I just think about how you said you come in, get comfortable, sit down, for the show, and you could take off your shoes, but leave your socks on.
Leave your socks on, please.
I burst out laughing when you said that. So please go subscribe to Hawks Digest for Chris over here.
Carrie, I would echo that sentiment, Carrie. Knowing Chris, and Chris and I would call Chris a friend. I work with him just about every day. Nobody works harder than Chris.
I appreciate you.
Nobody is more prepared. Let me give you your flowers for a sec, Chris. Doggone it. Nobody works harder than Chris. Nobody prepares harder than Chris. When Chris and I have a show, we probably talk about 20, 30 minutes before what we're going to do, the points we're going to cover. Chris is prepared. There's some content creators that and look, I'm just saying Chris is prepared. Okay. Chris is one of the most prepared people I've ever been around. He loves the Hawks. He loves the Braves. He loves the Falcons. He's from here. It's in his blood. And he wants to talk about it. And not only does he want to talk about it, he wants to experience it. And you need to subscribe to his channel, any channel he has, because what I say about Chris, it's gonna be quality. It's never gonna be, I'm just gonna hop on here. He's gonna do the work. He's gonna do the research. He's gonna be ready to talk about the players. He's gonna be ready to talk about if-then scenarios. Chris is just great. All right. And Chris does great videos too. Okay, so I'm probably biased because he's my friend, but I don't know a guy that prepares more. I don't know a guy that lives and dies with it. Chris was calling me yesterday. Chris sometimes would call me at 12 o'clock at night. Hey man, you want to do a show? And I'd be like, man, man,
That's
Um,
awesome.
T
I'm
Will, T
old,
Will,
man.
T
I'm
Will said he
old.
wanted to get out there, man. So I'm just like, hey,
I'm
Yeah.
old, man. Chris be calling me at 12, and my body's like, now you about to pass out. You get on there if you want to.
Oh,
You know what's gonna happen. But hey, man, Chris lives and dies with this stuff. So please like and subscribe to this channel. Chris is a young guy, but he has the spirit of an older gentleman and the work ethic of just he doesn't stop, and he's definitely going places. And look it, man, if you haven't guessed, I just love the guy. So please like, share, and subscribe to his channel, as apparently my tongue is falling asleep. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for joining us. Chris, we just
yes,
appreciate you, brother. Miss Carrie, I appreciate
seriously.
you.
no, I appreciate y'all, man. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't.
Chris is
I'm
awesome.
a very modest individual, and I'm very hard on myself. I'm never settling. I'm never comfortable in my work because I always feel like, what can I do to make it better? How can I how can I convey it to other people? You know what I'm saying? How can I, make it easier to understand my points, everything, and to be more concise and to the point, man. It's a lot of things that I still have to work on, but I appreciate you guys for noticing, what I'm saying, what I do right now. And, I'm only planning on getting better. And I believe that everyone on this panel, everybody in this chat, we will continue to get better as well, as long as we continue to work at it, man. I really appreciate that, though, guys. I really do.
Chris, you're doing great, honestly. I really enjoy everything you put out there, and I always love all your positive vibes, always.
Hey, man, it's so easy to be negative, So you got to try
Yeah,
to find some positive somewhere.
yeah.
Definitely.
Like I said, I
Guys, I've
appreciate
dropped
that.
the link to Hawks Digest in the chat. So again, click there. Again, please like, share, subscribe to that one as well. And look it, guys, you guys have a great weekend. It is Friday. Be safe.
Woohoo.
Enjoy yourselves. I think we're okay to get out and party a little bit. So, hey, man, if you're going somewhere on the weekend, please be careful. Enjoy yourselves. Drink responsibly. All that good stuff.
I'm gonna
And
take a break, T. Will, from the drinking because you already know I had to drink a little more than I normally would after the news on Saturday night. So
it's
this
okay.
weekend it's gonna be alcohol free for
It's
me.
look, you gotta do
Kira
what
said she drinking water all weekend.
hey,
Exactly.
you
Saturday
gotta
night
do what
too.
you gotta do, Carrie. I get it, I understand.
But
Sometimes you just gotta
yeah,
do what gets you through. You know what I mean? I get it.
right.
You drank, I throw stuff, and tear, I tear up a few items every
Oh,
now and then.
whatever works.
Um, so
Um,
and
I
my wife has told me if I tear up anything else that I gotta go. So
oh
I have to,
geez.
because I forget what happened. Somebody did something stupid on whatever team out, and I got so mad, man. I flung the remote,
Oh
and I
no.
threw it harder than what I thought it was gonna, and it broke some stuff. And
Uh,
Mrs. Wilson does not like when you break her
oh
thing. She just doesn't
no.
like that, right? So
I don't
Yeah,
blame her.
yeah, I can see that.
Can I
I was
say
in the
shout
dog.
out?
I can see how she probably don't like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in the doghouse for a couple of days. What'd you say, Carrie?
I was gonna say, can I just shout out everyone in the chat that's also giving our guy Chris his flowers? Thank you, everyone. That's
Hey,
awesome.
Yes.
man,
He
I
Yes.
deserves it.
appreciate y'all. I've been checking it out, man. I really
Yes.
appreciate it, man. I do. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. Also
I
want to shout out somebody else. Ladarius Brown also podcast with me with the Beard Gang, and this is just a remarkable young man. My tongue is asleep. Jesus, this is a remarkable young man. Like he is growing his channel. He's a writer for a I believe a ladies sports outlet, but he puts out great content. Very funny young man. Very entertaining. Very humble young man. So if you get a chance to go to his channel, please check him out. I think he had an interview yesterday. I don't know if he has one today, but Ladarius, if you want to drop your link in there, it's fine. Please support this young man. He's just getting started on his journey in this, but definitely a talent and somebody to watch coming up. And hey, guys, with that being said, man, I just appreciate y'all. Everybody,
Yeah,
rock.
man.
Oh,
Ladarius has a great interview with the Eagles content creator.
yeah.
Miss Breezy, I believe her name is, and
Yes.
great interview. Y'all go check that out too, man. I subscribe to his channel. You should too.
Yep.
So yeah, man, check
I
him out.
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Ladarius.
Definitely Ladarius. And he kind of keeps me in line because he's always ragging on me, and I'm always ragging on him. But truth be told, man, I love the guy. So I got nothing bad to say about him. Everyone in the chat, thank you for joining us. I want to thank God would not be here without him. And last but not least, I want to thank Mr. Jack Spade and Mr. Eric Parker because they got me in this business. So again, you guys have a great weekend. Everyone be safe, enjoy yourselves, and we will see you back here Monday morning. Actually, I think I got a show tonight, Friday, where we're going to go over some picks for the weekend at 7 p.m. So hey, Ladarius, Carrie, if you're available, you guys are welcome to hop back on. I think it'll be me and Jordan, Chris. But if you guys want to hop back on, you're welcome to do it. Other than that, hey, man, you guys have a great weekend. Rise up. Go Braves. Go Hawks. And thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Have a great Friday.
See you later, y'all.